Hello everyone, my name is Jamie Lynn Robertson and this is my life. I was born on April 5th, 1996. Credit goes to my mom and dad for that one. Thanks, fam. Throughout my mom's pregnancy, the doctor thought I was a boy. So when I popped out without everyone was pretty surprised. My older sister Kelly was ecstatic. My brother Jeff, however, he wasn't too happy. He was really hoping for a little brother, so I guess my birth was the first time I really ever disappointed someone. Sorry, bro. Since that magical day, my life has been pretty normal. I grew up in a small town in Connecticut with a loving family, some awesome friends, and I even had a few adorable pets, too. Growing up, I was an extreme tomboy. I loved playing sports, especially baseball. The majority of my friends were guys, and I wore more guy clothes from JCPenney's than I did girl clothes. And honestly, this stuck with me throughout most of my life. I don't think I ever really learned how to girl. Trust me, my sister tried. Like I said, she couldn't wait to have a little sister. So when I wouldn't play Barbies or let her paint my nails, it was a bit of a letdown. Back then, I guess I had a habit of disappointing siblings. Oops. But overall, that kind of stuff didn't matter. I was who I was and wasn't forced into liking the stereotypical girly stuff. Going into high school was weird. But I think that's the case for most people. I was slowly starting to figure out who my real friends were, and most importantly, I was trying to figure out who I was. I joined the volleyball team, which was cool, made a lot of friends, but I gave that up sophomore year to attend a performing arts school in another town. I still spent half the day at SHS, but the majority of the time was spent at the academy. This was a huge turning point in my life. Going to a school that taught acting and stage performance really helped me to come out of my shell and gain a passion for entertaining people. But it also helped me realize that maybe my dream wasn't to be in front of the camera, but rather behind it. So, junior year, I decided to go back to SHS full-time. However, the dream didn't fade. I didn't have many resources, but I did have a phone camera and some friends, so I worked with what I had. I began posting videos to YouTube of my friends being complete idiots and doing random shit. It never really amounted to anything, but I just enjoyed editing the short videos together to make something that we could all enjoy. It made them happy, and that's all I ever wanted. I also took a few communication and film classes my senior year, which was cool, but I needed something more, something bigger to satisfy this hunger I had for filmmaking. And that's when it happened. I opened my mail to find a postcard from Full Sail University in Central Florida. And honestly, that was the deal breaker. Of course, I had other schools in mind, but nothing seemed to compare to this one. So I applied to one school and one school only, and lucky for me, I got in. So the summer after senior year, I packed my bags, said a very emotional goodbye, and was off to start the next chapter of my life in Winter Park, Florida. Honestly, it was one of the best years of my life. I was living in an apartment with a super cool roommate. I had made a lot of awesome friends, and I was working towards my dream. But just when things seemed perfect, everything went to shit. I got distracted. I had forgotten why I was there in the first place. And I began to worry about stupid shit like what people thought of me and making sure they liked me. I started getting really depressed. My motivation began to fade, and I didn't like who I was. And in the mix of all this, something that I had been repressing my whole life was beginning to resurface. I had this feeling. I knew what it was. I just didn't know why, and I was afraid. Yep, I had caught the feels. But it wasn't for a guy. Shocker, I know. I had a major crush on my roommate, and I hated it so much. It seemed impossible to live with this girl every day and constantly worry about hiding my feelings or not making it too obvious. So one day, I had a long talk with another good friend of mine, and I said the words I never thought I would say. I'm gay. Well, bisexual, but you get the point. He helped me a lot and encouraged me to tell the roomie. So I did. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into depth with that one, but number one rule of being gay: never fall for a straight girl. And after that, everything went downhill. I lost a roommate, and my friend group began dropping like flies. I don't think I've ever felt more alone. I had finally built up the courage to be who I truly was, and just like that, I sprinted right back into that comfy, cozy, metaphorical closet. I reached the point where I just couldn't take it anymore. I hated myself. I hated the people who left. I was just so full of anger and sadness, and it wasn't healthy. So I dropped out of my dream school and flew back to Connecticut for a few months. Being with family and friends really helped, and I was able to pull myself back together again. And I even started school, but this time online, and I moved back to the Sunshine State. I was welcomed back with open arms by my best friend Jacob, the boy who lived. Well, at least the only one who wasn't dead to me at the time. Everything was okay again, but I still had something inside that needed to come out. And then it happened. Thanks to technology and newfound ways of meeting people, I had met a girl. And I really liked her. Liked her. We started talking all the time, and eventually she became my girlfriend. It was awesome, but it was hard, because I was dating a beautiful girl who made me so happy, but I couldn't share my happiness because it was just one big secret. But over time, being with her made me feel more and more comfortable with myself, and I began coming out to friends one by one. Then one random night when we were together, I decided to come out to my parents, with her by my side. It was incredibly scary, but looking back, there was absolutely nothing to worry about. My parents and family in general are the most loving, supportive people in the world, and everything went perfect. Unfortunately, a few months later, my girlfriend and I broke up. But we remained friends, so that was cool. I'd also began making YouTube videos again with Jacob. It started as a bet with our friend Kalia to see who can get the most subscribers, but I quickly fell in love with making videos, both behind and in front of the camera. And it was cool to see people enjoying us for just being us. Then something big happened. Jacob and I got our first real film gig, working with Dancing with the Stars. It was honestly the best experience of our lives. It was definitely a reminder of why I fell in love with filmmaking in the first place. It felt amazing to be doing what I love again. Ironically, almost exactly a year after my big breakdown, another one was arising. Jacob had graduated Full Sail and was about to be on his way to Georgia to start making his dream become a reality. I was super happy for him, but I just wasn't ready to say goodbye to my best friend. On top of that, my other best friend, also known as the ex-girlfriend, had ended our friendship. So the flashbacks began, and I felt like history was repeating all over again. But this time I wasn't going to allow that to happen. I was stronger now. I knew I wasn't alone, no matter how much I felt like I was. And I wasn't about to run back home to mommy and daddy again. Instead, I chose to use up all my built-up emotion in a more creative and productive way. I put my energy into bettering myself by doing things that made me happy, like exercising, filming vlogs, and I even began writing a book. And that kind of brings me to where I am right now. Making this video is the start of a new adventure. I plan to take this YouTube thing by the reins and start uploading content every week and see what happens. But most of all, I want you guys to know that I'm happy. And I want every single one of you to be happy as well. So continue to do what you love and never give up. Thank you for watching. I love you guys. Bye!